Hey guys, it's Alex975 here today, bringing back another video. In today's video, I'm going to be making a sort of retrospective video on The Walking Dead show. Now, there obviously will be spoilers for The Walking Dead from seasons 1 to 11, but there won't be any spoilers for The Walking Dead Dead City show and the Daryl Dixon show, mainly because I haven't watched them, so you don't have to worry about any spoilers for them. So I think most people kind of know that The Walking Dead didn't have a smooth run when it was going on, but it definitely wasn't a failure. But this is the thing I want to discuss. Was The Walking Dead wasted potential? As in, could it have been much better? And first of all, I wanted to discuss the weird thing that everyone seems to have with The Walking Dead that most other TV shows don't really do, at least not to the exaggerated form The Walking Dead does, and that's how you can at one stage be so engaged with The Walking Dead that you literally can't stop watching it. I'm sure if you've all binged to watch The Walking Dead, some bits are so engaging, especially season 1, but later on, not even later on, just at random parts, The Walking Dead just becomes a real effort to watch, like homework. And that's the thing about The Walking Dead that's so weird. Like, you go all, it's the only show that I've really went off, like actually had a break from watching it, like for a month, and other people have done it too that I know, and then gone back to it, and then it's been good again. And it's like, why did I ever stop watching it? But the reason is because it's such an effort at times. And that's a weird thing with The Walking Dead, that a lot of shows I've watched aren't like that. They're either just terrible in general, or they're really good in general. Like, that's the weird thing about The Walking Dead, that it can be like an S tier show at one stage and then just an average 5 out of 10 show another stage. That's really boring. Mainly because they seem to bottle episodes in. They seem to have episodes that don't have any, they shouldn't be there, but then some episodes are so good they keep the good bits for like one episode when they should be spreading out more, but then the S tier episodes wouldn't exist at all, which would make the show probably worse in general. But before we do anything else, I'm going to get out of the way my opinion on each season from seasons 1 to 11. So obviously season 1 is S tier. I don't even have to discuss that. Personally, it's my favourite season, but I know I'm in the minority there. But yeah, season 1, S tier, no complaints. Season 2, probably slightly controversial with the barn, because it was a big change from like being in one, going traveling places in season 1, and then in season 2 being stuck in one place. But the arc with Shane and Rick was brilliant, and I was always engaged watching the farm. It wasn't bad for me, but I know a lot of people do not like it. But I would still rate an S tier season. Some people might put 8 or 9 out of 10, but for me it's S tier. Season 3 and 4, S tier. That was peak Walking Dead. I didn't watch The Walking Dead when everyone was watching it, but I know for a fact that season 4 was kind of like when everyone was watching The Walking Dead. But then the second half of season 4 is when the start of the decline happened, when they started splitting up people's stories, and it kind of got confusing and a bit of an effort to watch. Some of the episodes started not to be engaging, and season 5 had that problem as well. Now, the problem hadn't come into full effect yet, but in season 5 you could start seeing the glimmers of it. But season 5 is still a great season, but I would say it's about 9 out of 10. It's where it stops becoming S tier, but it's still really, really good. Don't get me wrong, season 5 is still amazing. Season 6 for me is pretty bad, as in it's quite boring. I can't remember much from season 6, I'll be pretty honest with you, and it kind of seems to go under the radar because the next few seasons are really terrible. But season 6 wasn't great, and it should be recognised that that was probably the real start downfall. Even though season 5 was showing the glimmers of it, season 6 was actually showing big parts of it. And then it gets season 7. Even though season 7 had a brilliant first episode, which was kind of ruined by season 6 with all the teasers about Glenn's death and all that, season 7, it's one really good episode, was kind of ruined a bit, but it was still probably the best episode of Walking Dead, probably. But the rest of season 7 was very boring. Well, not very boring, it was still pretty bad though, and probably the worst season. I've heard a lot of people say that, and it probably was, because I'll be honest with you, season 7 and season 8 are on the same level for me. I know a lot of people say that season 8's a bit better because it's a lot more action, but for me, that's not what The Walking Dead was all about. And season 7 and 8 for me are kind of the same, and they're both kind of bad, and they kind of ruined The Walking Dead and lost most of the audience. And the really sad thing is the season after that, season 9, is S tier. Season 9 really brought me back to The Walking Dead. It was a whole season of so good, man. like I was stopping The Walking Dead. Like from season 7 and 8, I was watching that while playing my Xbox. Wasn't putting full concentration in it because I was starting to get done with it. And I took it as a challenge when I started watching The Walking Dead, that people say you can't finish it because it's such an effort. But I got through season 7 and 8, and I was like, I was nearly like done. I was out of energy when I was starting season 9, and then season 9. Oh my god, that scene! I know if you've watched season 9, I am gonna spoil it because like I did say spoiler warning. I don't know what you call it, the head scene, let's say, was so good, and it brought me back to like proper tension Walking Dead where anyone can die, and that is amazing. Season 10 wasn't very good. I know a lot of people say season 10 was the worst season of all the seasons, and there is a lot of arguments to say it is, and I wouldn't disagree with you, and I wouldn't say you have a bad opinion, but for me season 10 was maybe slightly better than season 7 and 8. Maybe it was because there was new characters, so you could engage with them, so it was a bit interesting. But season 10 again was a bit too much action again, and it became more of an action movie than an actual Walking Dead show. So yeah, anything season 7, 8 or 10, if you say they're the worst season, any of them I'd agree with you. Season 11, I have heard a lot of people say that they actually really enjoyed season 11 and it was a return to form. But for me, season 11 was very slightly better, but season 11 wasn't great. This is the thing with The Walking Dead, and this is why this video is kind of been made, is because the ending wasn't an ending, and everyone knows this, and I know everyone's discussed this, but it's not satisfying, and it makes you, the fear is that it's like Disney, that they're just spreading out their shows so that they get more people watching it, but actually what they're doing is dwindling their audience. But I will say I have heard good things about The Walking Dead Dead City and the Daryl Dixon show, and I'm really excited for that The Ones Who Live show with Rick and Michonne, which is going to be insane. I don't know if it'll actually be good, but the return of Rick Grimes, that's just enough for me to watch. I'm definitely watching that. I am planning on watching the Daryl Dixon show. I'm just waiting. But the Rick and Michonne show, I'm watching that the day it comes out, because man, is that going to be exciting. But yeah, The Walking Dead, basically going back to our original conclusion of, was The Walking Dead wasted potential? Well, I think the obvious answer is yes, and that's because, like, it obviously could have been better, but that's kind of every show on the planet. Even Breaking Bad, the best show of all time, arguably, there was definitely some wasted potential there. But The Walking Dead definitely has more than Breaking Bad, but The Walking Dead still doesn't feel like it failed either, because The Walking Dead was still, at least half the show was S tier, which was like completely not wasted potential, and then another bit of it was good but could have been better, and then about 3 seasons of it was really wasted potential. So kind of an up and downhill kind of thing, and some of those seasons are thrown in, like season 9 is an S tier season thrown in with a ton of crap seasons. Like 7, 8 are both terrible, then 9 is amazing, then 10 is terrible, and it's like, I really recommend, if you stopped watching The Walking Dead before you watch season 9, I recommend getting back into it just to watch season 9, because season 9 is a really good season, and it really reminds me of the old Walking Dead. But yeah, The Walking Dead being wasted potential, it feels like when you say that it's kind of Game of Thrones level, but it's not. It's not like The Walking Dead. Like, I am still interested in that franchise, and it doesn't leave a sour taste in my mind when someone mentions The Walking Dead. It's more like it could have been slightly better, but you'll take what you can get, and it was really good. Like, and I don't know, it could have been a lot better. And I know the director of season 1 was fired after the first episode of season 2, and I really loved season 1, so it definitely feels like it could have been wasted potential, but you never know, and that's the thing. You can't complain when you got an S tier show. A show that's probably overall an 8 out of 10 could have been an S tier if they had kept going consistently, but that is easier said than done. And The Walking Dead's franchise definitely wasn't ruined. The show was great, and there's even a chance of season 12, if all these like spin-off shows come to a conclusion where everyone comes back and they're all together. That would be really interesting, and I would really like to see that, because this show really needs a proper ending, and it was taken of that, and that was kind of annoying, and that is kind of the main thing. Even though the wasted potential, as in every season there could have been stuff better, especially with season 7, 8, and 10. That's not really the problem, because there's plenty good shows that have bad seasons. But The Walking Dead's big problem was they didn't conclude the show, which is really dissatisfying. And it doesn't leave a sour taste in your mind like Game of Thrones. It just feels like that's not the ending. It feels like you're just waiting. So it kind of feels like they have to make a season 12. Obviously, it's actually quite unlikely that they'll make a season 12. But I feel like the only way they can make that franchise a whole again is by making a season 12. There's no way they can make a Ones Who Live show, Daryl Dixon show, the Walking Dead, Dead City shows, and just keep them running, and then they end their stories at different times. Like Rick's story ends, and then Negan's story ends, and Daryl's story ends, but all in different time periods and all. They all obviously have to meet, and I know everyone has been saying Daryl and Rick have to meet again, which is obvious, and that's like one of the best duos of all time, in my opinion. And that was another thing that took away from season 10. Honestly, I don't think season 10 was as bad as season 7 and 8, but the problem was season 7 and 8 had the characters going for it, where season 10 didn't have the big engaging characters, but the season itself wasn't actually as bad. So yeah, The Walking Dead, I would say it's a mixed bag, and that's definitely the best way to sum it up. But yeah, I would say it's not wasted potential, even though the simple answer is yes, technically, it's not. Because, look at it this way, you could have had a Game of Thrones with The Walking Dead. It could have actually left a sour taste in your mind, where it pissed you off that they didn't actually make a good show. And even though the Game of Thrones was a good show, the conclusion wasn't bad, it was just not a conclusion. So there's actually, if they do make a season 12, there's all the possibility that it could leave a sour taste in your mind, but it's better than just leave it. If they do leave it at this, technically The Walking Dead isn't over, because there is a chance, I would say a 50-50 chance, that they will make a season 12. And if they make a season 12 of The Walking Dead, then we can make our conclusion if the show was wasted potential or not, because the show's ending has a lot to do with it, like a huge percentage of it. The rest of the show, that's what I've been discussing in this video, but the actual ending does wonders for it. If the ending is good, even the little bad parts, even the bad seasons, people will kind of forget about that. Not like forget about, but they'll kind of like put it in the back of their minds and only think about the good. Well, if there's a bad ending to it, people are going to be like, it was all for nothing. I watched 12 seasons for nothing. And yeah, that's basically all for today's video. I just wanted to make a short video about The Walking Dead. Again, if this video does do well, I will make a more in-depth analysis about this. Also, you may be wondering, the last video on Amazon Prime, me discussing Amazon Prime, it did very well, really well, and it's still growing right now, and it's around at 300 views, which is a massive success for the commentary. And I did say I'd make 10 commentary videos before I made a ultimate decision, and I might not even make that ultimate decision at that time. I might say another extended period of time, but I'll probably make my ultimatum after 10 commentary videos, and make my mind up basically over if I want to keep doing this or not, and if it's actually got a market in it. But that Amazon Prime video really shows that there could be a market in that. Now, I don't know if that was an anonymous, sorry, I can't pronounce that, but I don't know if that was actually like the black sheep, and like every video will get 100 views and that one got 300 views. It could get over 300 views, but that one could be the black sheep. Well, I don't think so. I think it's because I was talking about video games, specifically Nintendo, and now I'm talking about kind of shows and all that, which have more viewer base in it. But I don't know, that's just my prediction. But yeah, this video was very short, and I would love to make a more in-depth analysis, and I probably will make a more in-depth analysis about one of the shows of that Amazon Prime that I mentioned, either Invincible, Gen V, or The Boys. It probably won't be Gen V, but The Boys or Invincible. Probably Invincible now that I think about it. But yeah, I'll probably make one of those, because I can't make a more in-depth analysis about Amazon Prime because I don't have much more to say about the streaming platform itself. But I have a lot to say about Invincible, and because that video did so well, I kind of feel the need to. But I'm trying to make daily commentary videos now. I know that's a big step, but at least I'm making one today, and that's a great sign. So yeah, I don't know if I'll upload tomorrow, but I hope you did enjoy this video. Please consider liking it if you did enjoy, and subscribing to the channel, because I want to make more commentary videos like this. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.